Hey everyone, Connie Royal here, and I've got some news for you before you check out this video. So on June 8th, I will be hosting the 12-hour long summer mega stream. What this will be is 12 hours straight of gaming. It will be all kinds of different games. We will be playing stuff like Cards Against Humanity, Hearthstone, um, uh, just anything you can think of that I have. Plants vs. Zombies, Skullgirls, Card Hunter, Brawlhalla, all this kind of stuff we will be playing. It'll once again be from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. on Friday, June 8th. And what I am really wanting to bring up here is donations. So, if you want to say in a future reaction that I will put on this channel, you can donate to the channel. To do so, all you need to do is to donate either to my PayPal directly or by friending me on Steam and donating a game from my wish list. Once you donate, all of that will go towards the mega stream and future live streams in general. Any games you donate will be done for stream unless for some reason they can't be. And all money you donate on PayPal will go towards getting games for the streams or other stuff for the streams and stuff. It'll all be used for the channel, let's put it that way. And to donate, you can donate any amount you want, any amount you can possibly do, and it needs to be done before Friday, June 8th. Once you donate, you can also tell me directly like what you want me to react to. It can be a movie, a series, a fan work, and I will get to it in the future. It just not necessarily positive on exactly when. But that's all I wanted to tell you guys about, so please enjoy the video. Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my blind reaction to My Hero Academia Season 3, Episode 9? 9. So yeah, getting to this on time again. It's just, I don't know why I need to say that now. It's just, I guess because there was like so many weeks in a row where it's like both MLP and My Hero had to be reacted to like on the Sunday after release because of just having all that stuff going on. But we're free this week. Next week might be another issue though, but I'll talk about that later during my afterthoughts. So yeah, this episode, last we left off, Izuku, Kirishima, Momo, Ida, and Todoroki, I believe that's all of them. They were starting their search for Bakugo. They got some disguises, saw a news broadcast of the UA teachers giving this little announcement kind of thing. And basically are just searching around right now, trying to find where the League of Villains are. In the meantime, at the League of Villains, they let Bakugo free, but he ended up attacking specifically Shigaraki. Because let's be honest, as I said last time, Bakugo is not a bad guy. He wants to be a hero. His motivations are not completely pure, but he still wants to be a hero. He's never going to join the bad guys here. As for this episode, I don't know exactly what's going to happen. I assume we're just going to continue with these stories that we've started with this episode. I don't know if we're going to see any of the other students in this arc at all. Or maybe if we do, just like little bits of them. We also do have some pro heroes who are gathered together to use the tracker and everything given to All Might and Tsukiyuchi by Momo to go and help save Bakugo as well. So that's a thing that's going to be happening too. Yeah, I'm just really excited to see where this episode in particular takes us, and so we're going to get started. So when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episode. So that being said, thank you so much for tuning in today, and I'll see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. There are some episodes where you just have to talk about the ending first. Like, we've had this build-up for All for One since almost the beginning of the series, pretty much. Even before he was first mentioned, even before he was first even hinted at as a character, things have built up to him. Things have been slowly, progressively, like, building to this reveal. And we've seen him before this. We've seen glimpses at him. We've heard stuff about him. We found out bit by bit about who this guy is. We don't know all the details, but we've been learning about how he's like the end game of this series. He is the end game villain, the final boss, if you will, to use the terms that Shigaraki uses in the English dub. Yeah, he is the final boss, the end-all be-all. His quirk, as we know, is the ability to stockpile and give out quirks. We don't know exactly how it works yet, though. As mentioned, I was questioning, like, does he keep the quirks after he passes them along? Like, does he just create copies? Or when he passes a quirk to someone else, does that mean that he no longer has it himself? It's a legitimate question I'm wondering about at this point. It's something I don't know if will ever get specifically revealed, but I hope so. So this series has been building up to this, and in this, the final moments of this episode, we didn't see exactly what he did, but we saw just how powerful and dangerous he is as the biggest villain in the world. There are multiple heroes there. Tiger, Mount Lady, and Blue Genist. And in a split second, they made a point of telling us that in a split second, All for One took down all of them and laid complete waste to the surrounding area. That after credits scene where he's standing there amongst the smoking ruins, as our students are looking on in absolute terror, that said it all. We've had some frightening moments in this series. When we first saw Shigaraki use his power on Aizawa and really get to see like how just freaking crazy that quirk is, that was frightening. Seeing Stain in Season 2 and his actions and his ideologies was frightening. But All for One isn't just frightening. He is beyond terrifying. Not just because of his quirk and the fact that he can hold many quirks. That alone is terrifying. But it's also because of his demeanor. He's not one of those villains who, I guess, is like more like Shigaraki. Like, Shigaraki is one of those villains who's crazy and insane and out there, eccentric and stuff. You know, the kind of villains you see a lot of. The kind of villains that you typically associate as villains. No, All for One is more like Ra's al Ghul. He's more of the kind of villain who's calm, collected, and very sure of what he's doing. He's the kind of villain who sees himself as being right. and who doesn't lose his cool, who doesn't like freak out, who doesn't go crazy. His intimidation, his threat, comes from the fact that he's so stoic, that he's so assured. That is why he's so frightening. His powers and everything, yes, terribly, terribly frightening. But his ability to stay calm and be so sure of what he's doing and not like be as crazy and insane. Like, I like to put it this way. He's definitely crazy, but he's a functioning psychopath. He's able to function and like persist in that completely. Like, it doesn't even seem like at this moment he has spouts of insanity. Like, we've seen other characters who have had a functioning psychopath type of character, but then they, like, something can set them off and they have those bouts of just craziness to them. No, All for One is different. He's a lot more just the point is, we've been building to this, and this is a phenomenal payoff. I've talked about it with other reactions and stuff about the importance of how a payoff goes with its setup, and I stand by that. When you're setting something up, if the payoff is not as impactful as it's built up to be, then it hurts the overall flow of that build-up. And the episodes or moments or whatnot where that build-up came from will suffer because of it. If you're going to build something up, if you're going to really build into a character, a storyline, an arc, whatever, then the payoff has to just be worth it. And I think that All for One, his payoff is worth it. Heck, I think the payoff is actually better than it needs to be for the build-up we've had. But that's a good thing, because it makes him come across as a very threatening, menacing villain, while also being an interesting character in his own right that you want to know more about. But let's talk about the rest of this episode. So the main point of this episode is the attack on the League of Villains. So our students are getting ready to basically plan this covert attack. They're looking in and everything, and they see that where the Nomus are being created and all. But we also find out that the heroes, the pros, are planning a all-out attack as well. And they're planning it for right away, which they're doing it because the villains wouldn't expect it. And they were right. The villains did not see it coming. When the attack commenced by the pros, it was so well done. All Might bursting through the wall like that after that funny pizza delivery moment. It's like, knock knock, pizza delivery, and everybody's just like, wait, did someone order pizza? and then All Might just smashes through the wall. It's like this great grandiose moment. And it was just so well executed. But I also want to talk about specific moments like that with this episode, because this episode did moments well. And what I mean by that is, in episodes of a show, there are certain moments usually. Most shows like this, like My Hero, have like one big moment in every episode that really just helps define the episode and is like kind of the hype builder to continue going with the show. This episode had multiple moments, and other episodes and other shows have had that too, but usually not this many, because I mean, I mentioned the part at the end already with All for One. That was definitely a big moment. I mentioned All Might and the Pro Heroes smashing in and subduing the villains. That was a big moment. Let's talk about Bakugo, though. Bakugo seeing the press conference on the news and him being excited and happy about what they were saying. It's like, yeah, exactly what they said. And it's like, season one and or like early season two Bakugo would not be like that. Bakugo's growth came from season two, like the sports festival, the middle of season two and on, and what we've seen of season three so far. He's grown so much that, yeah, he's a lot different. We saw him thinking things through, strategizing even. And we see at that moment that he straight up wants to be a hero. It was basically straight up confirmed in this episode that not only does he want to be a hero, but he's not going to let anyone like change his path. He's not going to let anyone's words convince him otherwise. And that's actually really admirable. Like, I've had problems with Bakugo. I think everyone has. Bakugo has issues. He's constantly aggressively angry towards everyone, especially Izuku. And he's kind of just an asshole in general. He often acts without thinking, and various other issues that we've seen throughout these seasons. But he's also grown in such a way that makes him feel like a real person. And when I've said before that I think he's comparable to Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z, I mean that. Remember, Vegeta started off as a villain in the Saiyan saga. In the Frieza saga, he was still antagonistic at first, but then eventually had to work with them because of a common enemy. And after that, he started to, like, somewhat join forces with them, but was still acting antagonistic. But by the end of the Buu saga, he's basically friends with Goku. I mean, yes, he's still a rival to him and still wants to surpass and beat him, of course. But he's basically become friends with him as well. Vegeta didn't just change overnight. That's the point I'm making. He went through a slow change and grew as a character. And while I think Dragon Ball Z is overrated, Vegeta is actually one of my main reasons that I do still enjoy it. Because he's such a well-made character, and honestly, better made than Goku. Let's be honest, Goku sucks as a character and just in general. Vegeta's so much better in terms of his development, his characterization, and just... he's more entertaining, to be honest. But Bakugo is kind of the same way. He starts off in this antagonistic role, not just a straight-up villain, like Vegeta was, but very close, let's be honest. He was a long-running bully for Izuku, and very violent of one as well. It's implied that even as kids, he would attack Izuku using his quirk. It's strongly implied. And he's constantly attacking, constantly bullying him in horrible ways. And then they end up starting the hero course together. And at first, he's very much the same. Even when Izuku's power is revealed, he's angry about it. But after that first fight in Season 1, the training fight that All Might was running, at one of the first episodes, I think that was probably episode 6, I want to say? I'm not sure. It was early into season, or maybe midway into Season 1. You know what I'm talking about, the training fight. Where it was Izuku and Ochiko as the heroes, and Bakugo and Ida as the bad guys. Either way, after that fight, after Izuku and Bakugo's confrontation in there, and how Izuku took the full blast of Bakugo's attack onto his arm like that, almost completely destroying it, after already using his quirk to shoot his attack upward into the building, it changed Bakugo. You could see it there, and even afterwards and stuff, he started acknowledging the strengths and quirks and everything of the other students. And throughout the series, you see him progressively get better. In Season 2, you see that he's acknowledging his fellow students more and more, that he's thinking things through during his tournament battles. You see that he's changing and he's growing and he's starting to learn. He's even less aggressive. And in season 3, so far, he's been much less aggressive. Let's be honest, much less aggressive. He's still had some moments of aggressiveness, of course, but nowhere near to the degree he was in season 1 or even season 2. Like, I honestly believe season 3 Bakugo would not have thrown the fit that season 2 Bakugo did at the end of the tournament arc. I do not believe that. We just have seen so much beautiful growth with him. And it's just wonderful. It's just what I wanted, to be honest. When I first began the show, I didn't like him. But I saw potential in him. I saw him as a character who, if written properly, could grow into something amazing. And so far, they've been living up to that hope that I've had. So, kudos to the original writer of the manga and to those animating it as part of Studio Bones. And there's a thing, the next big moment I want to talk about, kind of the last really big one to discuss here, is how everything went to shit in the end. Not for the villains, but for the heroes. And I'm not just talking about when All for One appeared. I'm talking before that. The villains were all subdued. Kurogiri was knocked out so he couldn't use his portals. And then all of a sudden, Bakugo seems to disappear into this sludge-like substance. And he's just completely gone. And Nomus start coming through it and everything. You see the moment when Bakugo disappears through the sludge and All Might loses it, like he freaks out. That was powerful. Because All Might has shown some aggression before, of course, but never to that degree, never to the point where he's that upset about something. That was intense, the way that was portrayed. Both by the voice actors, voice acting, and by the art, the animation, the just soundtrack and how it was perfectly tuned into that moment. Everything worked together in perfect harmony to really sell how intense that was. Now in the opening, we see All Might and All for One facing off against each other, and All Might is raging in it in the opening. I think this is building up. I think by the end of this arc, we're going to have a fight between them. We're going to have All Might versus All for One. And I can't wait for that. That's only a guess, though. I mean, it's a very educated guess, but it's still just a guess. It might not happen. It might be more symbolic, but I could completely see it happening. All for One is, out there now. He's actually made his move. And All Might is in the area too, so shit's about to go down. I'm just wondering exactly when. I don't think it's going to be the next episode quite yet. I think maybe in the next episode, at the very end, they might start that. All Might and All for One might come face to face. Now, another big thing we found out. We showed from last episode where Shigaraki said father when looking down at the glove that had fallen from his face. Kind of a mask, kind of not, I don't know. But then we saw a bit of a flashback. A flashback to him as a kid being taken in by All for One. Something must have happened to his father. Was his father a hero, a villain, a citizen who maybe was killed by a villain? There are a lot of possibilities at this moment. We don't know enough yet, but there are a lot of big possibilities, and they're really going to be building on Shigaraki's character here. And I like that even the villains like this are getting some proper development. It also mentioned that Tomura Shigaraki's not his real name. I can't remember what it was right now, but he was when All For One approached him when he was a kid. He had a different name. It was like, I think it was Shimura something. So I'm wondering what that's going to connect to. Like there has to be a reason for us finding out his real name at this point. There has to be a reason for us to like know that. I mean, it tells us that yes, Tomura Shigaraki isn't his real name, that it's a name that he took on, presumably when he became a villain and all. And that's well and good, but there has to be something else, I feel. They wouldn't just like drop that name like that, and they built that up too with the end of last episode. Since that was built up a bit, they can't just let it be like that. What is the importance of his name? Is he connected to another character, maybe? I don't know. I don't know, but I'm really interested to find out. This was a phenomenal episode, let's be honest here. I mean, these afterthoughts, the recording timer says it's been going on for 21 and a half minutes now. I've had a lot to say about this episode because it was that good and that important, I feel. This was a very big episode because it gave us a lot of huge information, a lot of just fantastically big moments, and really made us understand that this is going to be changing the status quo of this series. With All For One having made his move now, things are not going to be the same. How different they're going to be, that's up in the air. But it's definitely going to be different to some degree. Tell me in the comments below, though, what you thought of this episode of My Hero Academia Season 3. What did you think of All For One's grand debut? Not as a character, but actually as the leader of the League of Villains. As his, well, you know what I mean. His grand debut in action, let's put it that way. Tell me what you think of the little bit of backstory of Shigaraki that we got. And just all these other big moments. Tell me your thoughts down below. And remember, if you know what's going to happen due to reading the manga or whatnot, please, no spoilers down in the comments. I wish for this channel to remain spoiler-free, not just for my sake, but for the sake of all of my viewers who may not have read the manga and don't know what's going to happen next. So thank you for tuning in, and for now, I'm Connie Royal, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.
And don't just live for tomorrow, or just live in yesterday. Just be glad for all you have that's in today.